So what up, though? We are back with another episode of Speak for Yourself. I am Dwan Dandridge, Black Leads Detroit. We're missing Ken Elkins, my ace. He's not feeling well, a little bit under the weather, so shout out Ken. Try to hold it down without you. Of course, we always have a special guest, but I can't wait to speak to this brother. We have none other than Rashard Dobbins from Class Act Detroit.
Peace.
So the way we'd like to kick it off, bro, is we love to invite our guests to introduce themselves, right?
Sure.
Like I'm sure that you probably would. You know exactly the way you want people to know you and the way you see yourself. So please share that with our audience.
What up, though? Rashard, advocate for our babies. I started an organization called Class Act Detroit, just around the corner from where we're filming this right now on Roseline Street. And we went from a house to owning a house of worship. That's 13,000 square feet. The house where we started is 1,300 square feet. So I'm an advocate for our babies, for our people, for working families. I'm somebody that grew up moving 1 to 2 times a year. So for me to be able to provide, this word called a safe space, but to rearrange it to where our scholars and their families are leading that process. And we just help with the tools to build the tables and the chairs with our community here in Detroit. That's what I want to be remembered for.
That's what's
being
up.
an advocate and being somebody who believes that movements is better than moments, man.
Movements are better than moments.
All day.
I like that. I love that. So
Avengers theory, man. That's how.
Yeah, right. So we, I can't even remember when we met. I think it might have been right before the pandemic and all the craziness when In Demand was kind of like jumping off, and going strong.
Absolutely.
And I know that we've been in rooms together. It was just you, me, and another person at times. But I remember the thing that like I think about most when I think about you is when we're in the room, it could be a crowded room, and then we will have a connection and we end up talking about the Most High. And it's almost like, because you know how much energy the brothers we hang out with have, we still can, it seems like it's still, and it's really direct. And even if we jump back into those other conversations on the peripheral, we connect and always there's an acknowledgement there. So before we jumped on, you were talking about a sister that shared something with you. We were talking about like the vastness of from Roseline to where you are now.
Come on, man.
And you said that a sister said something to you about assignments from Yahweh. So what did she say?
She said, the pastor is Jackie Hill Perry, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I believe she's from St. Louis, Locks, beautiful sister. But she said essentially that the Most High is not going to call you to do something that you can do without him. Mm-hmm. Right? It's going to be something big.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to say that if you lean too much on your own gifts, right, and we all have them. Yeah. Right? Communication, charismatic, more introverted, more logistical, wherever you are in the ecosystem of the forest, right? Whether you're a wolf, a beaver, elk, whatever, right? Focusing too much on your gifts is wrong, and then being insecure. Because in both cases, you're not really looking at it correctly. Yeah. It's what can you do, what can the Most High do through you, around you? Yeah. It should be something big, you know what I'm saying? It should scare you. Yeah. When I wrote down the vision for what is now House of Hip Hop, for one, we were sitting down religiously, no pun and pun intended, with our babies, right? Even the ones that's as big as me now. Mm-hmm. Our young queens, our young kings, their entire tribe, east side, west side, didn't matter. They met right here on Roseline. We broke bread, and we said, what you want to do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then from there, I did, visioning, because that's different than mood boards. Okay. We all know mood board with the pictures, all that. That's cool. That's my car. I want that car. That's cool. It's beautiful. But visioning is like doing what my brother Martez would, you know what I'm saying, writing it, scripting it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. 5 minutes, pure detail. Mm-hmm. You don't just say you get up. You start with the thread count. Okay. You don't say you just put your slippers on or your shoes on. No, we get specific with what it actually is. Mm-hmm. So as that was coming to me, and, we're doing this intelligence study for years in the city, starting with scholars, though, and their tribe, whoever that is, right? Related, not related, guardian, grandmama, uncle, you know what I'm saying? Play cousins, everybody. we said, what does it do, right? What it do? What you want to do? It's House of Hip Hop. Mm-hmm. So that name was there even before we had funding. Yeah. In a house where we took every single room and made it a studio, mm-hmm. right? It's a homage to the only place, right, to the place that kicked it off. Mm-hmm. Now we're right around the corner from the Motown Museum. Wow. Right? For anybody that's been there and you know, right around the corner. Yeah. Stone's throw.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I definitely appreciate, you know, that, right? Because I feel the same way. And I know it to be true. Like, I don't think that, you know, and on the flip side, another note, I often hear people say, like, God won't allow you to, no more to be put on you than what you can bear, right? I don't believe that to be true. Yeah. I believe he will allow too much, right? Because for me,
you said we will.
If he give me what I can take on my own, then I will probably never bow down. Oh, you know what I mean? Bro. Like I've needed to get more than what I could take on my own. You know what I mean? Because that's when I'm like most humble and I'm really reminded. You know, but alongside of that, also giving me vision and work to do that. My skills and the gifts and talents that he's given me will only carry me so far. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that we talk about as a team at Black Leaders Detroit, right? It's like, yeah, we have some really, really lofty goals. Mm-hmm. And
as you should.
Yeah, exactly, right? And they should be like just out of reach for us on our own. And we work hard. The team works really, really hard. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, and you know, we don't like to not hit our goals. Mm-hmm. So sometimes there's a desire to almost put the goals within reach, you know what I mean, mm-hmm. based on our own skills and the data that we've collected and whatnot. Absolutely. And there's sometimes a friction because I'm like, no, like let's put them out of reach, you know what I mean? And let's work our best to make it happen. Absolutely. And when we fall up short, let's watch what the Lord does, you know what I mean?
That's the cyclist in you, man. It's like 5 more miles. Yeah. 10 more miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I have a friend that I've been really, really tight with since we were 4 years old. Like I don't really remember life without him. Yeah. Shout out to Dante. But he reminds me when he sees me doing something crazy, he's like, bro, like, you the same dude, you know what I mean? And when we was in baseball practice and we was tired of running sprints, you was like, let us get 5 more. You know what I mean? Exactly, so yeah, man, I appreciate the gifts, and I really, really value the limitations, right? Because only way I can do all things. Come on, man. Is with him.
Moshe had a study, bro.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I get to the all things. Yeah. I can do some things. But the only way I get to the all things is through the connection.
Absolutely.
Right?
He gonna elevate you no matter what. Yeah. He gonna move you up or he gonna move them out the way.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. Like I've lived it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially going into like the success that Class Act has had. You know, I took a lot of things that appeared to be L's. Mm-hmm. They're really lessons.
That's lessons.
So they got the letter L, but it's valuable. It's not an L.
Valuable.
You know what I'm saying? And but you said something, bro. Hopefully I didn't cut you off for like the third. You said you've been the same cat since 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The whole thing about Class Act and something I believe in my core is who we are. Like we've always kind of been those people. Mm-hmm. And we all have families who will tell these different stories. You know, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. Sometimes it's not good, right? Right. My relatives is real quick to tell the ones, you know, and you just like, come on, bro. Yeah. But I think every single household, especially black households, there's a few stories that's super positive.
Oh, yeah.
That really are saying that young lady should be a lawyer.
Yes.
Or a nonprofit exec.
Yes.
That young man is a champion. He's a warrior. Yes. He's going to protect, right? He's going to be a coach. He's going to be a doctor, lawyer, preacher, whatever, right? Yeah. Entrepreneur. We all have these stories, and I think we do a disservice saying that children are the future. Yeah. It's a lie. Yeah. How you here right now, you the future.
Break it down.
You seed, tree, and fruit all in one.
Yes.
Right? So if we pouring into them correctly, giving them sunshine, oxygen, and on top of that, when you talk about planting, sometimes you got to step back. Yeah. right? But the soil got to be right. The soil got to be right. The container got to be right. Even better if you don't have a container, right? Especially when we talk about scholars and to keep up with the analogy, but like they're both seed, tree, fruit, all in one, right? So if you're a traumatized young man, you're gonna be a traumatized, adult, or you're gonna have some stuff to really unpack. And I think, we do ourselves a disservice acting like we have more time when we don't. And just to keep it on if we talking that talk, when we talk about the Israelites, right? The OGs is going around in circles. Circles. Same stuff over and over and over. What I've never heard any pastors talking about is how the youngins is sitting there looking at these grown folk going circles. Right? And if you're from a certain community, right, that we typically call the hood, you seeing it. You seeing it. You seeing the good, the bad, the ugly. You exposed to a lot. Them glasses that the rest of the world have on, that thing is off, right? And it's interesting to me. It's like we got to have femtors and mentors, right? If you haven't seen it, how are you going to, you know what I'm saying? You need more at-bats. Like, that's a thing, and in education, being a reading specialist, there's scholars that come in there, man, that was way behind from their peers, right? And from whatever, the goal was. But I believe in at-bats. 5 more.
5 more.
So if they saying that you are X amount of months or years behind, I'm sitting there like, okay, cool. So if they're doing it once or twice, we going to do it 8 times.
That's it.
And watch what happens.
You're going to catch up.
You know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather, man, he means the world to me. Like, before he passed, man, couple things. One, he's my only male role model.
Okay.
Only one. Only positive male role model I've ever had in my life, man. Ever. Thankfully, he's worth 2,000. You know what I'm saying? Like my granddaddy was that cold to where, because my father was in a car accident right after I was born.
Okay.
So he's been in assisted living my entire life, was in a coma for the first year of my life. So, right, that's already that. Not to mention whatever else. So then when my grandmother and my grandfather step in those summers, especially as I was coming of age, when I probably needed it the most, when I didn't need to be in certain environments, and I was able to go retreat and be with them in the summers. Right? Not that I'm trying to retreat, but like retreat as far as a wellness, healthy wellness standpoint. Not worrying about anything, not being anxious, not out there doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, right? Because I'm not even around it at that time. That was just a blessing for me, man, just to have great people in my circle. Lose my train of thought. However, it just speaks to just, the importance of having quality folks, man, in your life. And that's that believe in you. That's where I was going. So he told me, right, because I hoop, granddad 6'6", my father was like 6'3", his brother 6'4", right, all hoopers, all D1 scholarships, like it's nothing, right? Championships out the wazoo. I chose acting later on. I hooped too. But the mentality, I remember like 10th grade, I failed math for like the second time, right? Math was kicking my butt. And I remember sitting there with him, eating this amazing meal my grandmother prepared, right? Probably the game is on, some movie, because that was our thing, right? It was music, movies, food, all of that. Just creating that vibe, right? All 5 senses being stimulated, man. And I remember talking to him, and I think he used Shaq as somebody as an analogy. I've told this story this way. I use Shaq. Shaq, 7'2", Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
all
diesel.
Muscle.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The diesel. Yeah. You can't teach 7'2", 300 pounds, man. Talent. Now that you can't teach 7'2", 300 plus pounds. Solid muscle can run through a wall. But I can teach heart. You know what I'm saying? I can't say, this dude, champion, personified, can run through a wall, right? You look at the squad that they got, you look at Phil Jackson, and you just sitting there like, dang. But where we from in 04, that's a totally different story, right? Ben Wallace goes undrafted, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So just that mentality of like, okay, well, if 50 times, 100 times out of 100, he's going to get the rebound. 102 is mine. Because at some point, you're going to get tired. I'm not going to get tired. You feel me? And that's just, when that happened, And when we finally got stable, you know what I'm saying, by my junior year of high school, we finally didn't move 1 to 2 times that year. Okay. So I was able to complete, you know what I'm saying, stay at the same school at least a year. Yeah. Man, I went from I'm failing out here and I'm struggling with no study habits, you know what I'm saying, and really no ambitions. In that standpoint, that's probably something else we'll talk about, right? I just didn't like school. Yeah. So me being an educator, me being a teacher, it don't even make sense to me, right? Me being somebody who was failing all these different things, like why would I be the person, right? I went from that to graduating top of my class. You know what I'm saying? Summa. Yeah. Right? Next school, honors, right? With 3 jobs. You feel me? So like in the RA on top of that. So it's just like that mentality right there, that dog in you that I got from, you know what I'm saying, basketball, that I get from Southeast Michigan, that I get from, you know what I'm saying, just our ancestors from our people in the Midwest, you know what I'm saying, especially has that in them. You know what I'm saying? 12-hour shifts is normal. Right. Like we normalize that. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say that's the thing that really got me, man. But yeah, never give up. That's it. Man. That's it right there.
That's it. No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. So talk about Class Act. What's going on?
For sure.
With Class Act right now?
Yeah, man, we got a hip hop cultural hub in our city dedicated to equity, to youth empowerment, to Black folk. You know what I'm saying? To our the different musical genres that this region has popularized, specifically Southeast Michigan, right? When you think about our gospel tradition, it's a who's who of names.
To this day.
Right. But then on top of that, we have R&B gospel slow jams too. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it's a handful of cities, but most not touching us. Right. I give shout to Oakland, to Philly, to all these different places that are slept on, and they shouldn't be. Yeah. But when you're talking about, and this isn't shade to them at all, those I'm saying it because they deserve their flowers. You know, for us, you could just pick a genre, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Right? When we talk about Dilla, when we talk about neo soul, when we talk about R&B, when we talk about rock, punk, right? Specifically Black folks, right? Techno, house. We need a hub that celebrates this culture. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop thankfully pays homage to everything. Mm-hmm. You know, it's sample based. So you upcycling and recycling. It's new genius all the time. Yeah. All the time. So I think, you know, it's always been youth-centric. It's always been about racial healing. It's always been, you take away my trombone, that's cool. Or you take away my trumpet, there's this record with Miles Davis on it. Right. And now I get to be Quincy Jones with these 1200s. Right. You know what I'm saying? So something about that speaks to that dog that we see from the South Bronx, definitely here to Detroit, and any other place that I've lived or had the pleasure of being in and having, you know, community partners with. You see it all across the world, man. That right there, right? We don't take lemons and make lemonade stands. We skip all that, build the factory, and unfortunately, this concept of whiteness and white supremacy, right? This power structure, will bomb the factory and then tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, even though we're the ones that built the boots, the straps, the bootstrap factory else, and all that, right?
Even when we weren't allowed to wear them.
You feel me? So like
hand-me-downs, right?
So this is the house that culture, that a bunch of Black and brown, so-called Black and brown, and I say that so-called because it's Crayola colors, but built. It's always been women first. Yeah. It's always been youth-centric. It's always been intergenerational, man. So we have a hub, a historic house of worship that's been around since 1918, and then later renovations in the 30s.
Nice. So a couple things that you said were just like, so they keeps coming back, right? So you talk about like, no, like they're not the future. They're right now.
Right now.
Right? Then you talk about your own experience in taking L's, but them not being losses, lessons, right? And I think it's one of the things that I just make it personal. Sometimes I struggle with is I have, you know, children that are pretty much adults. You know, my youngest is 17.
There you go.
And watching them in life give them or prepare them for them L's, right? Yeah. But remembering that they're lessons. And I think coming on the other side of my own personal lessons, I'm like, man, I needed it just like that. You know what I mean? Like I needed it to be hard just like that. I needed to feel like a loss just like that in order for me to really learn. Embracing that for them and being happy to see them go through their version of whatever that's looking like for them, that's a hard thing, right? Life is a remix. What does that look like for somebody like you that just lives in that space to educate and be so closely connected with so many of our youth and see them, okay, maybe they don't take the wisdom or the advice on the front end and they got to learn some of it the hard way. Man. What does that feel like for you when they're going through their own L's?
Dang, bro.
You know?
That's deep. I didn't know he was going to take it there, man. That's so deep. I'm not going to be too specific or say no names, but I think I haven't fathered any children yet. You know what I'm saying? Although I'm getting that itch. And, a year ago, pretty much around this time, I was actually expecting my first.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The first time I've ever been getting ready, and it didn't work out. Okay. That was a crazy L, right? That was a crazy lesson.
It's a heavy L.
Feel like King David out here.
It's a heavy L.
You feel me? Especially all the different losses that I've experienced prior to 2020, right? My brother, my grandfather.
So,
and then the circumstance. Go ahead.
In case somebody missed that, so like you feel like King David right there, right?
Bro, straight.
So I've had my own experience and share with that, right?
Okay,
so I won't go into that because you brought it up.
I ain't trying to break down on this thing. You feel me?
I'm cool with it.
But I'm saying it's a crazy thing to go through. But people don't talk about.
But you go from that excitement. Then, as people of faith, you go through that. Okay,
come on.
There's some warning signs. Oh, we're gonna pray our way through this.
Come on, bro.
And then it end up being the other way.
Come on, bro. Come on.
And you still gotta praise him.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
And you understand why people thought he was gonna go crazy because without the connection, I would be crazy.
Dog.
You know what I'm saying?
First time I ever was cussing and praying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like for real.
Yeah,
like just to be real. Like the first time I ever was like, you know what I'm saying? On some like Tom Hanks on the island yelling at Wilson type. Like going in like that, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Cause it to me at the time it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dad, uncle, mentor, family member to many.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We really farmers, bro. Right?
Yeah.
We farmers. Like to keep with the farming and the seed and the fruit analogy.
Husbandry by definition, right?
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it, bro. Even being an educator, farmer.
Yeah.
Nonprofit. You farming.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But to that point about farming, like I don't make this. I don't turn the heat lamp on. I don't turn the sprinkler system on. You feel me? And then the soil, none of us really know. Like Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? You bury the brother. Yeah, some stuff happens. We really don't know what happens. Even if you're a scientist, no matter like a PhD, it doesn't matter. Like it's set up this way. Ain't nothing like it, and it's a good thing, right? Yeah. I know if I put my seed in the ground, that there's this abundance. It's going to take care of it. I might need to check on it here and there a little bit. But for the most part, I have to like literally put it in the ground and have faith. Because if I don't, I'm hunched over, now my back hurt. If it's too hot, I'm feeling like you don't love me, right? Keeping with the spiritual thing. You know, when really it's like, bro, you should have got you an umbrella or just called it quits for the day.
Yeah.
Got you some lemonade, enjoyed your family. Did something that, you know what I'm saying, go for me to be making a beat or doing something fly, you know what I'm saying, that's always been who I've been, who you've been drawing me to be, who you've been calling me to be. And I didn't have access to it growing up, right? I didn't touch that one turntable. I don't know too many shorties that want to be one right out the gate. Now I meet them all the time, of course. But I know at that time, wasn't nobody talking like that from my friend circle or any of the schools I went to. I couldn't afford now one beat machine. We've lost houses.
Right.
I'm going to another school in a couple months anyway. We moving, you know what I'm saying? So not really being stable, so to be able to like do that, bro, and it happened organically. it's very healing, bro, to even heal your own trauma. But what's fly about it is it wasn't me leading it, right? The question is, man, the Most High tell me something, and I know you can relate to this. He'll show you something.
Oh, for sure.
And then you got to keep your mouth shut. Yeah. And especially if you're doing this community work correct. Yeah. That means you're going to ask them what's up, not lead it, not tell them nothing. And he constantly would give me confirmation, right? A vinyl cafe, cool stuff like that, right? That's me. I'm hip hop all day. Yeah. That's something I would think about. Why are these middle schoolers saying that? Why are you saying that? Yeah. A Wu-Tang Garden. Come on, bro. Right? Like these type of things have happened and are happening. So it's just, to me, a bear hug from the Most High to say you on the right track. Like, what does that even look like? What's a Wu-Tang, what's a hip-hop garden look like, bro? Right. You know what I'm saying? What does that even look like? What is a hip-hop church? And it makes sense, right? Because relationship different than religion. But the particular building that we're in has always been a hub. It's the first Black Episcopal church on the west side of the city. Okay. That's one. Yeah. Always been a haven for children. The president of our block club took ballet in the same cafe I'm talking about right now. Wow. And we're building dance studios in the space. So it's just like the alignment's crazy. Yeah. But if folks knew that I got turned down for every single house, because we started in the house, right. Our model's in the house, I got turned down for every house, that don't make sense. Yeah. If they heard, dang, you grew up like that and at times you ain't have, your living stuff wasn't stable, and you were displaced in the height of the pandemic by your landlords, raising money for House of Hip Hop, and you ain't have a home. Yeah. That's what I mean by like that dog, you know what I'm saying? But I think those challenges, those obstacles, they're there to challenge you. They're there for you to go over them, and it's like, it's hard. I heard a brother say it like this, where it's like you in the gym and it feel like life is whooping your tail, you know what I'm saying, and you got 500 on your chest. Or you can flip it and be like, I ain't know I could bench 550. You see what I'm saying? Like, we always got to be grateful and look at what we do have, even if you don't have a lot, bro. Because I just came back from Nigeria, changed my life, by the way, changed my entire everything. We were talking about it you know what I'm saying, offline for a second, but I literally saw, and I'm not saying this from an ignorant standpoint, right? I've traveled quite a bit, but I literally saw somebody with a bucket, kicking a bucket.
Kicking it.
Right, well, is we not kicking the bucket in the top, meaning like you have what you have and it's right there. And though that individual gave me the most love. That is just something about that. Like when you think you're going through something, it's not to like compare and be like, these people, that person, these folks on this side, I live here, dang. Nah, it's not about that. I mean, literally, it's the mentality of abundance, of love, that frequency of love, man. It lift you out a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And I know, just to bring it back, that's what really got me up out that funk, bro. It was just like, it seemed like everything was going wrong. Yep. As y'all know, stuff around the building as we close, people robbing, doing this, doing that, all sorts of stuff, right? And it turns out it was, young adults who I'm like, dang, if you just knew that it's people your age and younger that got us here, you wouldn't probably be doing this. Or if you knew that we had the partnerships to give you two of whatever you taking brand new, all you had to do was say something, bro. You want a DJ controller? Well, we got partnership with Ableton and Reverb. You know what I'm saying? You need some furniture or something, bro? IKEA just came and made it rain for the entire city, right? Period. The largest donation in our country's history is in Detroit at House of Hip Hop for all of us, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, if you knew, like, why you moving this way? We gotta bring the community and the unity back to community, bro. That's it, man. That's where I'm going with that. Like, for
sure. No, that's the conversation I was just having with Quan, right? It's like there's so many just organic fixes to the problems.
Come on, man.
When it gets back to community.
Come on. It's Cain and Abel, bro.
Yeah, it is.
One was hating.
It is.
Another was saying abundance first. Here we go. It is. It's like we need to go more on the abundance track. It's more than enough for all of us, man.
And it's love, right? It's like desiring praise or stuff, you know what I'm saying, versus desiring to see you well and just love you. You know what I mean? It's like we can figure out how to do that. Yeah. I'm on a like battle right now, man, to like stop desiring things, right? To turn the commercials off. Straight up. You can't ride down the street home without seeing a million commercials. Straight up. You know what I mean? Straight up. As if I don't have enough playing in my mind, pulling at my heart saying desire this, want that. And I'm like, no, like I don't want stuff. Yeah. We talk about this. I mean, as much as there's a conversation about financial literacy right now, right? And like what I'm trying to teach my children is to invest in people and relationships, right? Like that's where my wealth is at. Straight up. You know what I mean? My wealth is not in my bank account. My wealth is if I call you, you're going to answer the phone. Come on, man. You know what I mean? If I say I need you, you're going to show up, right? Absolutely. You're going to get there and be like, all right, what did you need? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's valuable to me. Absolutely. Because there's a love there. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So that's the way I'm trying to teach my children more so than worrying about like how much money they can accumulate, how much money me and their mama going to leave them. Like, no, like I'm going to teach you how to build real meaningful relationships with people. That's what I want to teach you how to do. Come on, man. I think that's where our wealth lies. You know what I mean? I know. They can't keep us from that. No. They can't keep us from loving people. No, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they might be able to keep, like, hold on to money. And when we build a community, in a physical sense, they might be able to come in and tear down some buildings. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. You won't break my soul. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Won't break my soul at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that's what's unbreakable if we could just figure out how to get that back. You know what I mean? And I thank God for you, the other brothers and sisters that are out there doing it. You know what I mean? Without the microphones, without the cameras, you know what I mean? Quan was talking about Otis Bellinger, you know what I mean? Like, being a mentor when he was a kid and still out here putting in work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, that's the reason we do what we do at Black Leaders Detroit. Yeah, bro. Somebody asked me yesterday, a potential funder asked me yesterday, was like, why do y'all call yourselves Black Leaders Detroit? That's not what y'all do. You know what I mean? And I said, it's a great question, right? Interesting. But the belief of Black Leaders Detroit is that it's you and the other black leaders in Detroit that are the answer to Detroit's needs, 100%. Right? And 100%. In order to do work, a lot of organizations will adopt trifling language to describe y'all.
That's the right word, too.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, you got to use words like disinvested, poor, downtrodden, this, that, and the other in order to go after funding to be able to do this work. You are.
We superheroes.
Are a superhero.
So why we going, you know what I'm saying?
No, so that's why it's going to forever be Black Leaders Detroit. Yeah. Because that's who y'all are. You know what I mean? And y'all going to do this with or without the banks, going to do it with or without Black Leaders Detroit. Y'all going to do it with or without anybody else because y'all ain't never waited on nobody to come and save the day. Come on, bro. Y'all just take what you have, put in the work. So, you know, that's why, for anybody that's wondering, that's why we call Black Leaders Detroit.
Getting the goosies out here.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
No doubt, man.
That's real.
Superhero.
That's real. Yeah. We forming like Voltron, forming like the Avengers, bro.
That's it. That's it.
And I don't know one superhero with the exception of like Superman, man. I can't really relate to him. Everybody has trauma. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. I mean, I know he has a story too, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, his whole planet was blown up.
You feel me? You know so he got one, but anybody that can like, you know, fly 300 miles per hour and your Jerry curl don't move. Come on,
you doing to him what they do to us, though.
What you say?
You doing to him what they do to us.
I take it.
You know what I'm saying?
I take it.
Because when Black women go into the hospital, they think you're supposed to deal with all types of pain. They couldn't deal. They can't deal with nobody screaming at them. Exactly. But that so you know, crazy. I say be careful. No. Superheroes, you know, Superman ain't a real superhero, but you are. You know what I mean? But but they think that about us.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
I like it, bro.
They think that about us. How many times did they shoot Diallo? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like them first 10 wasn't enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're right.
But we fight on, bro.
We do.
Fight on.
We do. And not to even like be long-winded with it. Just because we here, you mentioned the money that's in the bank account or the wallet.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Dr. King had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he was driving.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a Cuban link, even though I like Cuban links. You know what I'm saying? like Brother Malcolm, same thing. Yeah. Anybody else? Angela, like I don't know what Angela got in her bank account. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like she's done really well. You know what I'm saying now? Like, but like that doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, I want everybody to thrive.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right, no but doubt. I'm saying like to your point, like it's not about that. It's the relationships, it's the movement. It's something carrying on beyond you. Yeah. You know? And that sister so bad. Talk about superhero. She represent herself and walk up out of there like it ain't nothing. Yeah, man. You know? Yeah. That's a miracle.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, she's so intelligent and so like, you know what I'm saying? Represents our community so well. But like, yeah, I don't know nor do I care what they had in the bank account.
That's it.
I don't care how their house look.
At the end of the day.
I know that he said, you know, I might not make it there with you, but we gonna get there.
We gonna get there.
And of course, we know that he did it in Detroit first, a version of it, before it hit the masses. Right? He recorded "I Have a Dream" or a rendition of it here first, and recorded it. Yeah. Right? So it's just like it's always got to be that. It's got to be, to your point, something that's so far in the distance that we're striving for. Yeah. Because our ceilings need to be where the next wave, where their foundation is. Mm-hmm. So we need to take it, you know what I'm saying, somewhere where we haven't even seen it, man. Yeah.
So do you know where that is for Class Act?
Oh, man.
Where's Class Act going?
Where are we going? Right. You know, for me, we're in a building that's pretty much 100 years old. Okay. The goal is now for this movement to go another 100 years.
100 years old. Yeah.
I mentioned I came back from Nigeria, bro. There were people on the continent that knew about House of Hip Hop, bro. Some of y'all hearing about it right now.
It's heavy.
There's brothers and sisters on the continent that knew about Class Act, knew about House of Hip Hop, and were elated. I'm talking about, we got a 3D walkthrough of the space. Some of them they've seen it. Because I was speaking at a conference and stuff. So like they were all in. All in. So I'm saying, wait a second.
That's exciting.
This is connecting with.
Yeah. That's exciting.
I mean, I already knew it was the tribe, but literally our tribes. Like, whoa. Oh, it's bigger. Mm-hmm. Thank you, because I thought it was a house, and it was a house of worship. I thought that was it, right? I thought that was the pinnacle when in reality, it's like, no, we just getting started, man. So if anything, I would say House of Hip Hop is the seed, right? It's a vehicle, you know. Love, hip hop, you know, is the fuel is our people, right? The fuel is what you said, us all coming together. The soundtrack is hip hop, right? It's Dilla instrumentals, right? It's P-Rock, it's Primo, it's the entire culture, not just the music, right? Because it's many different elements. It's self-expression. It's us being those zebras that don't have to remove your stripes when you walk into a room. Like, you can still be top of your class and rock a bucket hat to the side. Yeah. And you should be. Now, we know what that's like, especially in corporate spaces. Yeah. How you kind of have to, like, be the smartest in the room and, you know, be super charismatic or be super quiet. Or, you know, it's all these different things, and you're dying on that side. I think it's just important for us, to your point, for that love movement, the strength in numbers.
Yes, it is.
And when you do that, and I soaked up a lot of game going to high school in the South, because at a certain point I thought I was better than.
Got you.
Rightfully so.
Got you.
Right? When you think about just the South in general, like Mississippi, which I've been, and it's a game changer going there for me, and going to Medgar Evers' family home. Right, seeing the bloodstains still in the park, man. Come on, right? Talking with Rena, like Evers, like, come on, man. But like, when you think about Mississippi and the tragedy, man, it kind of deserved a rap. But at the same time, what I learned was, if something worked down there, it worked
anywhere.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, if we soak up the game of what they did in South Africa, it worked wherever neighborhood, wherever you claim. Yeah. So I think, like, that to me is the where it's going. Is we know we're pioneers in Detroit. So House of Hip Hop took a vacant church that's been sitting for 15 years with '04 Pistons posters in it and the original stained glass windows and all of that. And we did it with community, right? We ain't just go in there and start developing and doing it in a traditional style because that area is hot. It's hot. Joe Louis Greenway. Right. Nakarima Club, for those who don't know, is the first black social club in our state, right? You have the Bluebird Inn, right? Miles, Duke Ellison, anybody you want to name. It's hot area to be in. Motown's right around the corner, literally, right? That's cool and all, but it's like we're building something to where if you build it, they will come. Yeah. We're building something to where the infrastructure is so fly, and we figure out an endowment and a this and a that, to where it's just, you step back. I really want to go be a farmer, man. That's my goal. Like go do something with some alpacas
somewhere.
Go plant some real watermelon, right? Some non-GMO stuff, because like this is a real harvest, a real like these seeds are hip hop seeds. But I'm like, look, my goal is to put myself out of business, bro. Okay. But the way white supremacy is set up, 400 plus years, you don't get that fixed in half that time. You can't fix it in half of that time or 40 years, especially the last 40 when we look at our time. It's generational. So if we're not setting up the generation,
that's it.
And we getting them to focus more on material things, you losing them. Because none of our heroes and sheroes, we don't even know. Yeah. We don't even know about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. All right, bro. I'm gonna get you out of here on this one. As you described, going through your own challenges while raising money for House of Hip Hop.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And dealing with displacement during the pandemic, which I don't know if there's a worse, scarier time that we've experienced to be displaced, right?
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
So if there's a brother or sister out there now that might get their hands on viewing this,
right,
their eyes and ears on it, and they have something that the Lord placed in them to do, but they can't see beyond their own challenges, what might you have to say to them?
What would I say to them? Dang. Man. I'm going to say this. If the obstacles are that high and it seems that insurmountable, then the blessing that's on the other side is 100-fold, 10-fold from whatever you were thinking. Because I'm actually happy that all of these things happened to me. I never thought that would happen. Listen. Yeah. I lost my brother right before our birthdays. Not that I celebrate them, but still, we were actually going to go to Cuba. My grandfather on Christmas, not that I celebrate, you know what I'm saying? Just in the situation behind it, right? It wasn't just natural, you know what I'm saying? So, and all that shrouded stuff, I already talked about expecting, first child, all these different things. Displacement, when you find an organization in the house and you've already experienced displacement growing up and moving a lot, so stability is a thing, it's a trigger. It forced me to heal. So I'll just say it was always bigger, because now I got a testimony to share with somebody to keep them going and to say, yo, if all hell is breaking loose, bruh, it's because heaven is pouring out. It's on the way. And the hardest thing is when you have that hope and then things are getting worse.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah. You get some money and then somebody steal it.
Yeah. Right.
You get a car donated and then you get an accident. Couldn't have avoided it. These are all real things, by the way. Yeah. You know these stories, though. Right? They don't. And I could just keep going and going and going and going. But then on the flip side, you have a building called House of Hip Hop that's a home for black people, for the culture of hip hop, the elements, graffiti, right, dance, so on and so forth, MC and DJing, right? You have a home for, right, we talk about safe space, but like literally the community built it. And then you get the biggest donations from corporate, you know what I'm saying, partnerships that secretly we had that, right? 2018, 2017, But it was, came to the house, did some stuff, and then, blessed us and kept it pushing. When you talk about it, they was peeping game. They saw, wait a second, this dude went from house to this, right? They been family with it. And these folks, most of them, actually 99.9% don't live in Detroit. They don't look like me and you.
Right.
So I'm like, well, that's real interesting. Because it's right, we talk about these different colors. Yo, Crayola colors. Now, when we say black, we know what it is.
Yeah.
But like this thing called whiteness, real interesting.
Yeah.
They'll take a picture in a church with these white, ugly, pointy do-rags and then go bomb a church full of young ladies, right? But when we say we black and we proud, our blackness, our black leaders, like we already know it's healing for everybody. And I'll just say, man, at the end of the day, all of that's happening because what's on the other side is better. And at times it's going to look like it's getting better and it go down. It can do this or do that. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's happening for a reason. Because then you're going to have a testimony for somebody. Sometimes it's for other people, man. I did all that moving for other people. I wanted to do stuff that I couldn't do. So then the moment I worked in entertainment, the moment I had it, I gave it. I wasn't stingy. I wasn't stunning. I'm talking to somebody who got his first car the day I graduated college. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bucket. I had no upholstery, bro. You feel me?
Springs.
Listen, bro, I had a Detroit bucket in Atlanta. Listen. Light hang down and smack everybody in the car. You feel me? You go to the car wash.
So you turn too fast.
Listen, bro.
It's going to catch everybody.
Listen, I'm talking about the brakes. What brakes? You flooring it every time just to slow down a little bit in the A, especially. Right, so it's just like, you got to go through that, man. You got to. It's for a reason. And it's a chapter. You just got to remember it's a chapter. It ain't the whole book. And sometimes some of us got volumes. Of the struggle. And I think that's what we don't expect. We like, dang, if I can just get through this chapter, this page, this sentence, like what's going on, right? And they look into the sky. The truth is, man, you might have volumes. It ain't just a one-hitter quitter, best-selling joint. No, you got volumes. You got to get to that. You got to get to that point. So being grateful is going to get you through it. You know what I'm saying? Finding your love, being balanced, finding your wellness, even if you feel like you're losing your mind. Right? When all hell break loose, everything gonna come for you. Everything.
Oh, it's gonna come.
It's like the Matrix. Whoever around you, whatever's around you, it's gonna keep happening like that. You can't give up though. It's big. Sometimes it's for other people, and it's for you. That's it, man.
Appreciate it. So to summarize that, our theme for the Ride for Equity this year, Tez, remember what it was? If you want to get there, keep going.
Straight up.
That's it.
Straight up. Look at all the cameras for that.
Yeah. I appreciate you
Keep going.
for coming to hang out, bro.
Of course, brother.
Thanks, man.
Of course.
I'm going to stay tuned as to what
Appreciate you.
God is doing in your life. And anyway, we're able to rock with it and be a supporter.
Appreciate that, big bro.
And beneficiary, then we want to be there.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Thanks. Peace.